Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be about how to visualize your future self, how to visualize that person, that man that you want to be. And for me, I'm gearing myself up, or I really want a happy, healthy relationship. So I'm thinking about who I want to be as a person, how I want to show up. And the way you get to that is you've got to think about the negatives before. So for me, I used to people please in relationships and I used to lose myself. They're sort of both intertwined a little bit, but I used to people please because deep down I had an insecurity that wasn't enough. So I thought if I just showed up as myself, if I just turned up like this and I was just me, then I thought that person wasn't gonna think that was enough. And that was a realization I had early on in my therapy. And this is all subconscious, by the way. So in my conscious part of my brain, I know I'm enough. In my career, who I am as a person, who I am as a father, I know I'm enough. But there was something subconsciously deep down that didn't believe I was enough. So that led to me just giving too much too early. And this is genuinely at the start of a relationship. So whether that's oversharing, whether that's sort of like going on crazy dates right at the start when I didn't need to, whether that's, just being too available, whatever it is, then I needed to understand why I did that. And it was because of that unconscious belief that I've managed to work through now, which has been incredible. So hopefully the people pleasing thing isn't there, although I'm sure it will rear its head in certain occasions. But now I'm aware of it, I'll be able to sort of wind myself back in a bit. But the other one for me was losing myself. And the reason I used to lose myself in relationships, partly because the people pleasing, you think about if I had that unconscious belief that I wasn't enough, I'm just giving loads to that person. And the way my brain was thinking at that point is I want them to want me. It wasn't me sitting back and be like, okay, I'm confident in who I am. I want someone to come into my life that's going to make me better. It was, wow, this person, we're having such good fun because you're in the honeymoon phase. Who doesn't? You're being intimate, you're going on these nice dates, you're meeting new people, you're having laughs. It's just all fun at the start, isn't it? So just that energy was making me feel so complete that I wasn't really thinking about what I needed. And part of that's because I didn't know what I needed. So I didn't know what my needs were in a relationship. So to not lose yourself, you need to understand what your needs are. And then you need to communicate those needs and set boundaries. Now, you don't need to do all this early on, but as time progresses, maybe you get through a few dates or whenever's the right time, because you can't really put too many deadlines or time frames on these sort of things, because it's just however it flows. But you need to understand yourself, set boundaries, and communicate effectively. So when you're thinking about this future self, you really have to go granular. So actually think about that minute detail, because my coach set me this task, and when he set me it, I went away and I wrote down pages and pages of blurb. Basically, it was all buzzwords. So he said, how are you not going to lose yourself? And I was like, I'm not going to lose myself by showing up, being confident. I don't know, it was all just wishy-washy stuff, not stuff that you can really visualize. But once you understand where you went wrong previously and your traits, then you can start winding it back and thinking, okay, well, how can I stop that? So for instance, I'm someone who usually goes mad at the start, who people pleases too much. So I give too much time away at the start and devote too much energy to the person I'm seeing, if they're a good fit at the time. But I'll be conscious now. So if I'm texting somebody, I won't want to be texting them all day. I'll take breaks. If I'm at work, I'll be present at work and I'll text them back after work. If I'm spending time with my friends, I won't be spending half of it texting them back, which is something I used to do before. If I'm spending time with my daughter, I'll just put my phone in my pocket and I'll just enjoy my time with my daughter. So you can start thinking about how you're going to do this to every different trait you have. And I'd encourage you all to do this, because when you can visualize it, then you can step into it, then you can be that person. But like I say, if I just said I didn't want to people please in my next relationship, then I'm trying to be in my own thoughts and feelings. Like, what does that look like? What does that actually look like? And this is what happens with my coach. So he got me to read out all this stuff, and he said, okay, well, what does that look like? And I couldn't picture it. And this was actually a written task that he wanted me to do. So I wrote down all the pages. But for me, I'm not great at writing, so it never really goes in, or it doesn't flow very well when I'm trying to do this sort of stuff. So I went for a walk, and I did go for a walk after he prompted me to do it again. And yeah, I got to the bottom of it, and I really got granular with everything that I'm going to do. And yeah, that's the way you've got to do it. But even some of that, what I've just said, so let's say, like I said, we're going to be a good communicator in a relationship. It's not just about you communicating your needs. It's all about setting up that healthy environment, because if you're someone where when your partner comes to you with a problem, you blow up, or you can't deal with it, or you get angry, or you shut it down, you're not breeding a healthy environment, are you? So it's all about how you deal with conflicts, how you deal with your partner's needs when they come up, and then they can be reflected back on you. So it's not all a one-way street. If you just got to communicate to your future partner or your partner you're with all of your needs, it's definitely about the two-way thing, how you're going to show up to get that healthy communication. So I'd really, really encourage you just to dig deep on it and think, okay, these are my negative traits. These are things that have gone wrong in the past. I now know these because I've done the work. And now we've got to move forward, and I need to make sure these don't happen again. The understanding piece of understanding your traits is going to help you out no end. And that's where all of the growth comes from. It's understanding these are an issue, because 90% of people go around their whole life not understanding that they've got anything to work on or they could improve. And it does work for some people, but people will either intuitively get through them in this sort of very similar method where they'll start understanding their flaws with their partner. But, the best way to do it is if you can do it alone, understand your previous traits, better yourself, come up with coping mechanisms with being there for yourself, all the breath work, meditation, get into the root of like the inner child stuff as well, and the mother and father wound, and really getting to the bottom of all of your core beliefs or why you have them, and then you can start eradicating them. And it's really powerful stuff, really, really powerful stuff. But you have just got to make sure you don't just pay lip service, and that's exactly what I did. I just said a load of words that didn't mean a great deal. And all of this inner work requires you to be able to see it, to feel it, because it's not going to sink in otherwise. It's like you're reading some book and it's, bits of it go in, bits of it, but you're talking about your inner self, and this is someone you know very well, because it's you. I know myself very well, and it's all about truly understanding yourself, isn't it, and really getting to the bottom of all those aspects and projecting what you're going to be like in the next relationship, or who you're going to be, how you're going to show up to the world after you've done all this work. So yeah, hopefully I haven't rambled on too much. No doubt I have, but that's all good. We've got the community now. So I've just created the community actually, and the name may well change, but let me just log on to my laptop quickly. Very unprofessional. So it's going to be on School. There's going to be a link down below. It's called the Brotherhood of Depth. I'm quite buzzing for it actually. I've just been setting up all the different channels and stuff in it. It's not going to be too heavy, too hard to use or anything. It's going to be free. But I want a space where we can talk, because you'll probably find that some of your friends that you've hung around with your whole life, or for a large part of it, don't want to talk about this deeper stuff. They either don't get it, or they don't see it as an issue, or they're not emotionally intimate, in tune enough to want to have those sort of conversations. So we're going to open up a space for that. It'll just be incredible for us to get in there, talk, and there'll be hopefully be some other things on the back of it, maybe some retreats down the line, some courses, maybe some coaching. I'm nowhere near in a position to coach anyone at the minute because I'm still going through my journey, but I do want to give back, and I think this is a way I can give back, because this is something that I want, something I've been searching for. And you might have seen my other videos, but I've tried to do it in person, and I've done it by going to like a meditation class and a local retreat. Unfortunately, by me, there's no to like devoted to men. So you go to these places and it's 60, 50, 60-year-old women. It was great, and I had some really emotional chats. I've actually made some really good connections through it. But I just want that brotherhood. I want us men to be in it, because I think there's something really powerful about men being vulnerable with one another, sharing stuff, helping each other out. And even after you've finished your healing journey and you feel like you're fairly secure now, you're ready to go and hit your next relationship or be the person you want to be in life, you're going to be able to stay in the group and then impart some of that knowledge on other people, or help other people and suggest stuff and just be there. And that's really, truly where you get to a fully healed stage, when you can give back and really cement all the stuff you've learned. All the good work and talk to others and help others is going to be incredible. So yeah, hit the link down below, do all the good YouTube stuff, like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.